Hello, I'm Nick Britton, Head of Training at the Association of Investment Companies. Today I caught up with Walter Price, Portfolio Manager of Allianz Technology Trust, to talk about his views on some of the biggest names in the sector, but also some of the more interesting emerging opportunities he's finding in technology.
Well, the core themes really are based on this concept of a fourth industrial revolution that we think is we're in the beginning of. And so we think it's going to affect components companies. So we have a large weighting in some of the semiconductor companies, particularly those associated with memory or artificial intelligence. And we have a large part of our portfolio associated with software as a service and cloud computing names, because we think that's where many of the future technologies will be developed. So I would say those are the core themes. Well, I'm excited about this whole move to the cloud and artificial intelligence that kind of goes with it. I think we really have the opportunity to embrace this new wave of artificial intelligence, change how work is done, kind of get rid of the boring parts of work or the boring parts of our lives, like driving a car in commuter traffic. That's pretty boring. I'd like to get rid of that. Standing in a line at a grocery store, I'd like to get rid of that. So, there are lots of examples where just as the mobile phones kind of changed our personal life, I think as technology is used and applied to companies in the retail industry, the auto industry, and the financial industry, I think we're going to see more convenience and better quality of life for people. Well, I think FANG is an interesting area because a lot of it is associated with media companies, Facebook and Google in particular, and Amazon to some extent with their new push into advertising. Netflix is media. So, to me, those companies were really the original pioneers in disrupting a major industry, which was the consumer media industry. And I think that disruption is probably pretty far along at this point. So search is a very mature business. Facebook obviously has 2 billion people that are on it, so it's pretty mature. Netflix has 100 million users, so it's pretty mature. So I think Amazon, on the other hand, I think is still in its youth. 10% of commerce is e-commerce, and so Amazon has probably more runway than the other companies, but I think they're all tech behemoths with high valuations and lots of free cash flow and lots of earnings support to their stock prices. So I feel that they're solid long-term holdings. Well, I think the idea of 100% growth rates, those are gone, but I think you'll have good steady growth. I mean, if you look at the number of subscribers that Netflix has, 100 million sounds like a lot, but when you think about how many people or how many families there are in the world, it's a pretty small number, a pretty small percentage. And I think 2 billion sounds like a lot with Facebook, or 1 to 2 billion, but there's an opportunity to monetize those people and bring them closer together, and I think that's just beginning. So in some sense, they're very large, mature companies. I don't think you're going to see Facebook go up by a factor of 7 as it has in the last 10 years, but I think it will continue to go up. Well, we sit in San Francisco, so we get to see not only the new technology companies, but some of the old technology companies. And I think that technology's growth is based on a new way of doing things, or a lower cost way of doing things. And a corollary to that is that you destroy a lot of old business models. And sometimes those are outside of technology, sometimes those are inside of technology. So I think you want specialists who understand the area and understand the implications, rather than just buying an index. Or I think you run the risk that a good part of your index will go away, and you'll not participate in the true growth of the industry.
Well, technology is certainly a sector that's performed extremely well this year, but it's interesting to hear Walter's view that it still has an awful lot to offer investors. Thank you for watching.